Hi guys, welcome to episode 49 of Notable Needlework. I'm Kate, Notable Needle, N-O-T-E-A-B-L-E, on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. The blog, if you're watching this on iTunes, is at notableneedlework.blogspot.com. There's a Ravelry group, Notable Needlework Podcast, which you can come and join and introduce yourself. Again this week, this is take 2. The podcast decided to record without any sound again, so I need to start doing tests of whether the sound is recording before I record. The first take, I had tons of interruptions from my husband, from the cat, and I actually managed to not only go over time, but forget to mention a whole ton of stuff. So hopefully I can avoid both of those problems this time. The only problem is now I have even more stuff on my desk, and so I have to make sure that I remember everything. The first thing that I have is finished object, which the cat is currently asleep on. There we go. They're nice and warm. I finished the monkey socks and woke up the cat. This is Sweet Georgia Tough Love Sock in the Venice colorway. I did the small size of the monkey pattern in a, bless you, in a US size 2 instead of a size 1. And so I got a little bit bigger sock to fit my little bit bigger feet. It is a very easy pattern to memorize. I very much enjoyed it. It was a nice take-along pattern. Susu's up and blocking the lamp. She's been asleep on top of the computer underneath the lamp so she can stay warm because it's about 30 degrees outside right now. And there's a, I don't think you've ever seen it, but there's a big sliding glass door like right here, right in this area. So I'm actually probably going to put these on right now because it's kind of cold. So I've been in here for about 2 hours now with no socks on. So this was for the monkey knit along that is still going on. It's from now until the end of the month, so February 29th. If you are a monogamous knitter, if you are a at least semi-fast knitter, it would actually be, I think it would be plenty of time to still do a pair if you have not started already, or if you are starting again in the case of Katie from Knitting on the Fly. These actually feel really nice on because the cat made them warm. Anyways, this one finished object. Works in progress. The first one, which y'all don't really need to see the pattern for, are my aileron socks. The needle got stuck. These are, there we go, a test knit that I am doing for Claire Ellen, who designed the Fellowship of the Ring socks that I did the Gandalf test knit for. This one is Elrond, and I did the second repeat of the chart, did the heel flap, turned the heel, did all the gusset decreases, and am now working on the foot of the sock. And these were originally going to be for a friend of mine who has size 9.5 feet. The width is not, it's not going to be wide enough. It's 64 stitches. I am using a US 2 to make gauge, but with the cables it pulls in too much. I can barely get it over my feet, and I think she would think that she would break the socks if she was trying to put it on. So they're going to be for another friend of mine who has a size 7.5, which I think will be a little easier. It's Knit Pick Stroll Tonal in the Blue Yonder colorway. I love this pattern. It is a charted cable, and you do need to pay attention to it because it is semi complex, but it's definitely not difficult. I've taken it with me to school. I haven't worked on it in class or something where I have to be paying attention to something else, but I've been able to work on it on breaks and not worry about stopping in the middle of a row or anything like that. And I'm getting there. I think that if I work on this when I'm at home and on breaks, I might be able to finish the socks this week. Because now I only have to do the repeat on one side of the sock and then stockinette on the other. So I don't think it's going to be too much longer. Because I had just started the heel flap on Friday afternoon, and then I went to the hospital for clinicals, and then Saturday I did the entire heel flap, turned the heel, and picked up the stitches, and then today I didn't even work on it that much, and all the gusset decreases are done and all that, so I don't think it'll take that much longer. And that is in my bird leg bags, my sheepy knitting bag, which is her small project bag. And it's zippered and it's lined and I love it. And I'll talk more about that when I get to stash enhancement, because I have news about that. Oh, that means I'm going to have to pull up all the... I got rid of all the tabs with stuff that I wanted to show you, so I'm going to have to find those again. That's unfortunate. Other... I don't think I'm going to show you some of the stuff that was on that. I'll just put links in the show notes and you can check them out if you're so inclined, or you can see them when I actually get objects, which would probably be next week or after. Anyways, other works in where's that bag? In my Yarnivore bag, which is appropriate because she's the one who gave me the measurements for this sock, I have Laura's Berkeley socks, and it is incredibly tangled up. This is Fiber Nymph Dye Works in the bounce color, or the bounce base, and it's a custom colorway that she did in Cal Berkeley colors. It's a bit darker than it's showing up on the screen. It's more of a navy blue and a true gold with more orange in it than the yellow that it's showing up as. It's just your basic Afterthought heel sock, 64 stitches on a US size 1, and I really like how it's knitting up. I like that the stripes are a bit wider than usual. With my gauge, they're almost, I don't actually know how, they're more than a ½ inch, so I'm happy. And she loves how they're turning out, so that's good. And this is my completely and utterly mindless knitting that I'm working on right now. So hopefully now that the monkey socks are done, these will get more love, and I will be able to finish those soon and get paid for them. Let's see. Other works in progress. I'll show you the Even Star shawl. I did 2 rows on it. The rows are getting very, very long, and I have a million other things that I want to work on, so it has not gotten much love. But this is, of course, the Even Star shawl by Susan Pandorf. You might be able to tell there's only a couple patterns that I actually know the designer's name of, which is really bad. This is one of them. And I started chart 3 and I did rows 1 and 2. I know, you can't really tell that anything's been done, except for that there's a couple yarn overs. But it's getting big now. I can't show you the whole thing anymore. I haven't been able to show the whole thing since before the increases. But it's getting big. I love it. I cannot wait to see what it looks like when it's done. I know that's going to be a while, but A girl can dream. Do you think I can have more Lord of the Rings patterns on the needles? Seriously. Okie doke. That didn't get that much love. And then, put that over there. Addie's baby blanket got some love. And I think the crochet hook is currently lost in the couch. So I'll try not to pull out this. This is just Lion Brand Pound of Love in the pale yellow colorway. And it's the hooded baby blanket that the Lion Brand company has on their website. It's free pattern. Very easy crochet stitch, just the same 3 stitches over and over and over and over. But I've been working on the test knit a lot more when I've been home, and I don't like bringing this in the backpack because the skein is so big. So it hasn't had as much love as it probably needs to, considering that those twins are probably going to be here by the end of the month. And she knows I'm making it, and we were joking about that when I was over there yesterday, about how I need to get cracking on this, because it should probably be in the room before the baby is. Just a thought. That is it for works in progress. Yeah, me looking around is trying to find more room on this desk. Okie doke. I put in a little section in the show notes of things that I forgot to mention, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not forgetting anything that belongs in these. Okay. Coming up, I've shown you this yarn before when I first got it. It's Madeline Tosh sock in the cherry colorway. In the first take, I showed it to you in the hank, and then I figured I'd shown it to you so I could skein it or ball it up. So I just have it in the balls now. It's not nearly as attractive, but here is the yarn, and it's got the lavenders, and I don't think it has any true purples. It really just has that light lavender, and then roses and dark cherry reds, like Bing cherries almost. It's not showing up as well as I'd like it to, but it's very pretty, and I think it's going to show off the cable pattern well. This will be for the Merilinda socks, where's the good picture of it? There's a good picture of it. Which is another Cookie A pattern. I was planning on saving this for the start of our Cookie A knit along, which will be March 1st through April 30th, but I really need to get my butt on this. I have too many orders that I need to finish, and I took this order in December. I know her excuse me. I know her birthday is not until April, but I need to start working on this because it's not too terribly complex a chart, but it is a chart, and it's more difficult to take the book with you than a simple printed pattern, and I don't have a copy machine. So that's coming up. I'm probably going to start working on it sometime this week. Hopefully I'll have at least a cuff done by next week. But yeah, I can't wait until March 1st. I have the other project that's coming up. I will wait until March 1st because she doesn't really care when she gets it. That I don't have the yarn for. I still have to order it. I'm going to order the Summer Blooms colorway of the Knit Pick Stroll Tonal, and it's going to be the Kai Mei socks, if I can ever find them, by Cookie A. And of course it's not one of the ones that I bookmarks because I didn't think I was going to be making it. Oh, there we go. Found it. Sue's sitting her butt down on the mouse. There we go. So, that is the Kaimei pattern. Will and I picked out the yarn and the sock pattern because Courtney wanted to be surprised. She just said that she wanted pink. And I saw a pattern, or a project on Ravelry where someone did this pattern in the same color sock yarn. The same colorway, the same yarn. And I love how it looks. So I will be doing that for her. I'm looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I will probably be ordering the yarn sometime this week. I might think of it as a Valentine's Day present to myself, even though it's for an order. It's something coming in the mail. It totally counts. That's really it for coming up, with one exception. I'm going to be doing, for another one of my friends in nursing school, I'm going to be doing a pair of stripy socks for her from some sock yarn that we found on Etsy. And if you have ever seen the show Phineas and Ferb, if you haven't, I highly recommend it if you have the same really dumb sense of humor that I do, and evidently Kelsey does as well. It's the same people who did the show Rocko's Modern Life. So if you're in that same sort of age bracket as I am, and evidently she is too, I keep forgetting that some of the younger kids in my nursing school class have seen some of the same shows that I have, because they've definitely seen shows that I have not. Let's see if I can find it. But it is sock yarn inspired by Perry the Platypus. And it knits up fantastically. I actually saw the finished sock on Ravelry and went to hunt down the yarn because I had to get it. Even if it wasn't for me, I had to knit with it. And she saw it and she volunteered to buy it, and I told her I would not charge for the labor or anything like that as long as I got to knit with that yarn. So here it is. It is Perry the Platypus inspired yarn. Love it. And it knits up to look like this. Isn't that fantastic? Seriously, I cannot. The colors are so awesome, and the way it stripes, love it. And she fell in love with it when she first saw it. This is from Nalani Yarns on Etsy, N-A-L-A-N-I Yarns. And she has other self-striping ones, not just the Perry the Platypus. I think that's the only Phineas and Ferb inspired color, though. So if you are a fan of the show, that's the only one, but she does have more listed. And she has a couple like Valentine's Day-ish theme, but dark Valentine's, like with some black in it, which Will doesn't understand that that counts as Valentine's Day theme too. Anyways, so that's it for coming up. I think that's all I have in my show notes, so I'm going to say that's all that's coming up. Spinning, spinning, spinning. So, this is in my Knitting's My Bag, custom bag, with the medical theme fabric, which has some of my fiber on it. I thought I got a pen mark on it, and I was going to cry. I have my fiber, which I told you about last week, but didn't show because I forgot it in the other room. This is fiber that I got from Pearl Essence Fibers in Sunnyvale, California, which is a fantastic shop, and I can't wait till we see my in-laws again because they have a bunch of spinning wheels and I want to try them out. Not like I'm not going to here in Alabama because I'll be getting my wheel far before then, but anyways, it's 100% superwash merino, and this, trying not to break it, this is what the fiber looks like before it's spun up, hence why I didn't do the gradient that I was planning on doing because of all these white spots, and because the staple length is so long that you don't get a clean break of color if you were to try and split it up lengthwise. So the way that this is dyed is it's blue, green, yellow, orange, red, big thing of purple, red, orange, yellow, green, big thing of blue, green, yellow, orange, red, purple. So each piece, I didn't like divide it crosswise in half at any point. This is how it was dyed. The whole braid is this way. So each section of fiber that I spin has a blue end and a purple end. And I've just been connecting the like end. So this one ended on a blue. So when I spin this bump of fiber, I'll attach the blue end so it'll keep the gradient going. I had said that I was going to 3-ply this because of the way it's separated. I think I'm just going to do a 2-ply because I don't really want to have to deal with 3-plies, and because it's spinning at like a light fingering, and I think that that would be too bulky, and I don't want to cut my yardage because I want to do something awesome out of this. So I think that with 2 light fingerings I'll probably get something like a sport weight, depending on how it turns out. And I think that I can do something pretty cool with that. So that's my rainbow fiber. I love how this is spinning out. I haven't been spinning that much because stress and studying and knitting on all of the things. And because, not that I don't love my drop spindle, but I want a wheel. And I want to spin on a wheel and make pretty things. And so I haven't been spinning as much on my drop spindle. But I will soon, because there's a lot less stress this week. Supply room. So, stash enhancement. First thing is a very big thank you to both the person who sent me the pattern and to all of you for, in essence, being responsible for me getting the pattern. So, I'm trying to figure out how to best pull this up. So, last week I mentioned this shop, Birdleg Bags, on Etsy, which I will put another link to in the show notes because her bags are awesome. There's a little tag in there, birdlegbags.etsy.com. And I mentioned how fantastic her bags are, and I put a link in the show notes. Evidently, y'all decided to all check out her store because I got an email on Monday morning. The show went up on Sunday evening. I got an email Monday morning and said that I had received a pattern on Ravelry. So I went and I wanted to share the note that she put with the pattern because it's super sweet. Alright. Just a token to say thanks for the shout out on your video cast to my shop, Birdleg Bags. I've already seen some activity coming from your website. I'm glad you like your bag. I chose this pattern from your wish list because I've made the socks and love them. They're very stretchy and forgiving, so they make great gift socks. Also, my husband is both a knitter and a nurse. When he was in nursing school, he would knit through lecture and record the lecture on his voice recorder. This would be a good pattern for that because it's pretty mindless knitting. And while he was in nursing school, he was a stress monkey, so his gauge got really tight. This is a sock that can handle a tighter than normal gauge. Thanks again and good luck with nursing school. I know that it is very hard work and takes a lot of dedication and fortitude. So she sent me the Long John sock pattern, which looks a lot like a Long John sock. I'm waiting for it to pull up on the iPad so I can show you a picture. That doesn't really want to load. There we go. What are you chewing? Evidently on herself. Will's singing along to something. Anyways, this is a picture of the pattern. It's kind of awesome, and it's pretty unisex depending on whatever yarn you choose for it. So, very nice pattern to have in the stash, in the queue, in the lineup, whatever you want to say. So, thank you to everyone who checked out her shop. I appreciate getting the pattern, and that you're supporting a small business, because her bags really are awesome. I got the bags that I have purchased, received, whatever, what have you, from independent store owners have been, I have gotten the sweetest comments on them from both knitters and non-knitters, and they're fantastic. They're extraordinarily well made. I adore them. I really do. Okay, next thing. This is I got a notice from UPS yesterday that said, "Sorry we missed you, we left your package up at the front office." I couldn't figure out what package they were talking about, so I went today and picked it up, and it was a package from Amazon. I couldn't figure out who it was from, so I opened it, and this is what it was. It turns out that my friend Charlotte, who was my roommate all throughout college, I love her tremendously. I don't think she watches, but if you do, I love you, Charlotte. She's the one that I knit the manly scarf for her boyfriend. They live in New York City, where he is going to Columbia and she is working, and he has evidently lost his Canadian ability to withstand the cold. So I made the scarf for him, that chunky brown scarf, and she said, "Oh, send me your new address and I will send you the money for it." She sent me this instead, which I definitely enjoyed far more because I don't have to use it to pay bills. But it's The Knitter's Book of Wool by Clara Parks. I've only read the first 2 chapters so far, and I adore it. It has very detailed information about different breeds, a lot of good information about different non-wool materials that often get blended with wool, such as silk, nylon, bamboo, etc., and why manufacturers or independent people choose to blend that material with the yarn. I kind of need to figure out what he's singing along to now, because I can hear him through the wall. Anyways, it is a fantastic book. I will probably read this week and give a more detailed review of it next week. But I love it. Thank you, Charlotte. You were awesome. And I think my husband had something to do with this, because he had mentioned a couple weeks ago that someone was asking him about birthday stuff, and I thought that it was really weird, because anyone who would be asking about birthday stuff knows that my birthday's in July, not January. So I think that was his way of asking about this, because this was definitely the top of the list that I told him, so I'm guessing that Charlotte was the one asking about it. Anyways, I showed everything from those books, so I can put the keyboard on top of them. Other new stuff. I have one more thing that I can show you, and then two that are coming. That one should probably be here next week, and one's not coming for a couple weeks. So first one is, I got the toe-up socks for everybody from Katie from Knitting on the Fly that I won in her last giveaway. It was the Podiversary giveaway. And I won the book. And I know that there's Post-its in it. I haven't fully read the book. I vaguely remembered some of the patterns that I had thought about knitting from when I checked it out from the library a while ago. And I've bookmarked those. But there's definitely an information section in it. I want to read what she writes about cast-offs, because that's the thing that I very much dislike about toe-up socks and the reason I don't really do them. So hopefully Wendy will have some good information, and even if she doesn't, someone has some good information. So there's that. Excuse me. Okay. I have two last things. I kind of want to move her from the light, but then she's just going to be bugging me the whole time, and she'll realize that my yarn swift is out, and she will start chewing on it. Okay, there's two things that are coming soon. One of which is the one thing in the whole stash enhancement that I actually bought for myself. Where is it? Really, where is it? Okay. I'm pulling up the picture of it, because it should be coming next week, I think. They said that they were shipping it out on Friday, and it's definitely a US based company, so I think it should be here sometime next week. Yeah, next week isn't President's Day and all that. That's the week after, because it's the week of Will's birthday. Okay. So I have been looking for the clear Converse sneakers that you can use to awesomely show off your hand knit socks for a while. Yuki's making the glare in my glasses really bad because she's blocking that light. Anyways, they've stopped making them. So I was looking around for alternatives, and I found essentially a knockoff version of the Converse shoes. I have no issues with buying knockoffs, especially when the original product isn't being made anymore. So I found these. I originally wanted to get the completely clear ones that had white trim and white laces, but they didn't have any in my size. So I got the black ones, and you can see that they are clear and you can see your socks through them. And I've seen them, especially for self-striping socks, and they look fantastic. So I'm very much looking forward to those coming. I will put a link in the show notes for the shop that has them. It's the only place that I've seen that has anything even remotely resembling the Converse shoes. There's a few places that have clear clogs. I'm not as crazy about them because they tend to fall off my feet. Unless they've got the strap on the back like the Crocs do. Then I can wear them. The last thing that is coming up, well, that's going to be coming to my mailbox soon, is something that I found on Etsy. I posted a link to it on my Facebook page because I thought it was awesome, which I do sometimes. And my mom saw it, and she knows how I feel about rainbow. Rainbow is a color. In case you didn't know that, rainbow is a color. It is my favorite color. As you might be able to... She's licking the mouse pad. I don't think I ever spilled anything, so... Anyways. Rainbow is a color. It is my favorite color. So she knew how I would feel about this. It's the actual colored fiber is Tussa silk. The black is baby alpaca. And she saw this link on my Facebook page and said, I want to buy you this for Valentine's Day. I love my mom tremendously. Look at this. And I was helping her. She has problems buying things on Etsy because something always goes wrong in the checkout process and she never actually buys it. So she had me purchase it. I couldn't figure out why the shipping price was so high. Because it's $9 for shipping and it's 100 grams of fiber. So I was wondering why the shipping price was so high. Turns out the shop owner is in Russia. So $9 is actually not that bad for shipping from Russia. It will unfortunately take about 3 weeks for it to get here. But this is from Violet Lynx, and that's Lynx like the cat, L-I-N-X, on Etsy, which I'm going to put a post or a link to in the show notes. Fantastic. Fantastic looking colors. I cannot wait for it to get here. I do know that it is probably going to be the first thing that I spin when I get my wheel, because I want the first thing I spin to be something special. And because it was either going to be that or this fiber right here from my mother-in-law for Christmas, but I think if I wait that long she's going to be offended. I've been putting up pictures on my Facebook page, and what I've been doing is tagging either the people who got me the yarn or the people that the project is for. And she was seeing all the stuff that I spun from the trip from New Mexico. So the chocolate covered cherries fiber, that blue merino that I spun before, that was all tagged with my mom because she was the one who bought me the fiber. And she evidently asked Will if I didn't like the fiber that she got from me because I hadn't posted it yet. So I do love the fiber. It is, you can see, it's gorgeous. And it's 8 ounces of superwash merino, and it's hand dyed, and it's beautiful. And I want it to be special because it's so pretty, and I want however I want to spin it, I want it to be awesome. And so I'm thinking about saving that for the wheel. And then there's a couple other things. Well, the bats here that I got from Hillary, Hippie Penguin, of the Hippie Penguin podcast, I don't think you can spin bats on a drop spindle even if you wanted to. Okay, more talented people might be able to spin bats on a drop spindle. I'm not even going to try that. That's especially saving for the wheel. But like the Knit Picks Bear, there's some Knit Picks Roving that's colored that can be spun on the drop spindle, and I don't really care. But the really special ones I kind of want to save for the wheel. So that's the only reason I haven't spun it, Diane. It's not because I don't love you. It's because I love the fiber too much. I want to save it. Hello, Super Tangent. Yeah, that's definitely it for stash enhancement, for sure. Okay. Other knitting stuff that I still have to mention. Oh, I wanted to thank Maya from the Maya Mooney, or the Mooney Knits podcast, for the shout out that she gave me on her podcast. I very much appreciate it. And to mention the knit along that she is planning on doing, she, as of the episode, hadn't yet decided whether it was going to be any free sock pattern or any sock pattern that she has knit in the past. But either way, it should correspond to the Cookie A knit along, because either it'll be any free sock pattern, in which case you can do, you can find the monkey pattern. It's free somewhere, like in a back issue of Knitty, or the Pomatemus pattern, which is for sure free, or it will be any of the socks that she's knit in the past, and she's knit quite a few Cookie A socks. So if you happen to be doing one of those patterns for our knit along, be sure to join her group and post your pictures in that one. And then for the monkey knit along, if you have done that and you have not already posted, join the group and post it in the Knit One Heart 2 sock knit along. Be sure to do that, because I don't care if you double dip. I highly encourage it, because it shows more support to more podcasters. So thank you, Maya, and she left a super sweet comment on the blog last week, because it was the first episode that I had recorded with the new camera, and she said that it made my eyes look amazing. I forget what word she used, but thank you, Maya. I appreciate it. It's always nice to hear it from someone other than my husband. And of course with the glare, y'all can't see it anyway. So, okay. In my show notes, I actually put a separate list of things that I forgot to mention in the podcast the first time I recorded. So I keep looking at it, making sure that I'm not forgetting. I think I mentioned that earlier. Okay, everything else is in other news. Okay. Nursing school. It was a very stressful week. 2 exams and clinical. So it honestly feels like it's been 2 weeks since I recorded, because Monday through Wednesday feels like a week for me, because I'm in all my classes pretty much all day, and then Tuesday's my weird sort of break, and then Thursday through Sunday feels like a week to me, because I have clinicals on Friday, I'm usually babysitting on Thursday, and I'm helping out with Addie and everything else during that time, and then cleaning up the house and all that fun stuff. So it feels like it's been 2 weeks. It's probably why I'm forgetting so much stuff, because so much stuff is happening. But the exams went very well. I managed to get 100% on my psych exam. I am chalking that up to the good karma vibes from that free pattern, because I literally opened that email up about 5 minutes before I went into the test, and so I was very happy and excited. It has nothing to do with the fact that the test was super easy, I swear. OB exam went well. I got a 90 the first time through, and they're talking about adding points back for some not so clearly worded questions, so we'll see how many points I wind up getting back for that. This glare is killing me, and Susu's blocking the light that cancels out the glare. Clinical this week. I loved my patient. She was awesome. She was a trooper. She had had a C-section. We get in to clinical at about 3 o'clock. We actually start seeing patients. We do pre-conference before that, but we actually start seeing patients at about 3 o'clock. She had had a C-section at 1 that day. By 7:30, she was up and out of bed after having major abdominal surgery. And she was not like a little woman by any stretch of the imagination, so it was pretty intense surgery. And she was up and out of bed and not complaining of any pain. She basically wasn't even taking pain medication. She was awesome when I was giving her injections. She was just an awesome patient, and she could not have loved her new baby more than anything ever. So seriously, she was so thrilled to be a mom. She was first-time mom, so she was thrilled to be a mother, and you could see it. You could see how much she adored that child. Of course, when we got to post-conferences and we got to hear about everyone else's day, I had a mild sense of what's the point of doing everything, because I found out that one of the other patients was a mother who did who was on methadone for the entirety of her pregnancy, and so one of my friends was taking care of her child who was coming off of methadone withdrawals. I don't understand how a mother can do that to her child. I don't. Anyways. So, I'm glad that I got to have my nice, awesome patient who reaffirms my faith in humanity, and that I didn't have the patient that probably would have made me incredibly jaded for life. On that happy note, I have other stuff to talk about that has nothing to do with knitting or nursing school. And it's all good stuff. All good stuff. I went over yesterday and was helping Addie set up the nursery, and the surprising thing that she really needs help with at this point is doing laundry. Because the way that her laundry machines are set up, in order to switch the laundry from one machine to another, from the washer to the dryer, you have to sort of be against the wall and like open both doors out. It doesn't really make sense unless you've done it. Her belly is in the way and she can't open the doors to the washer and the dryer anymore. I'm sorry, I shouldn't find that as funny as it really is. But that's one of the things that I've been helping her with, because otherwise she can't do laundry. She has to have her husband switch it. She can put everything in the washer just fine, and she can take stuff out of the dryer just fine, but she can't switch it back and forth. Oh, God love it. So I helped her do that, and we were sterilizing pacifiers, which she's not even going to use until the kids are at least 3 weeks old anyway, and I kept telling her that you're going to re-sterilize them right before you use it, because a plastic bag is not a sterile environment. But we were doing that anyway, if for no other reason than to test out this. She has a sterilizing thing for the bottles, for the pacifiers, whatever you put in it, that you put water in the bottom and put it in the microwave for a certain amount of time, and it steams and sterilizes and all that fun stuff. So, helped her out with that, helped her set stuff up in the nursery and organize clothes into the different age groups, and we sort of had a boy pile and a girl pile, because she is having identical twins, so they're either going to be boys or they're going to be girls. We're both thoroughly convinced they're going to be girls. Watch them be boys. But we're both convinced that they're girls. She's not finding out the sex. I've not been able to bribe the ultrasound technician, because I haven't gone with her to an ultrasound. But, oh well. So, the twins are coming most likely by the end of the month, because she's running out of room there. So, the doctor doesn't think that he's going to be inducing her by any stretch of the imagination. He's not planning on inducing her by the end of the month. It's more that she's running out of room, and he thinks that it would be unusual if she didn't make it that long. With twins, 36 weeks is the pretty much when they start thinking about inducing you, because you pretty much run out of room. The end of the month would be 34 weeks for her, and their lung function looks good so far, so doctor doesn't find a problem with that. She is probably going to be having a C-section, because one of the twins is in the breech position, which instead of being head down, he's butt down. She is butt down instead of head down, which isn't that bad. You can deliver a breech baby. The problem is that the other one is transverse. So instead of, this is the belly, head's supposed to be down here, so you can like get it out easier. It's this way. Head is over here and body is this way. Yet you can't deliver a child that way. It has to be one way or the other. So she's probably going to be a cesarean section. I think he has tried there's a maneuver that you can do, or you can try to do, where you physically put your hands on the belly and like move the baby into the right position. The problem is a lot of times they'll go back to whatever position they like. They won't stay the way that you want them to. So she will probably have a C-section. So I'm preparing for the fact that she's going to need more help than initially expected, because not only is she going to have 2 new babies, she's going to have had major abdominal surgery. And they only put you in the hospital for 3 days after the babies are born if you have a C-section. And then she can't drive for 2 weeks afterwards. So I'm preparing for that. The one thing that I'm not thrilled about that is that it's around the same time my psych clinicals will be starting. So it cuts out a full day that I had off beforehand. But, oh well. So that should be fun. I have pictures of the nursery, and I'm right now, oh, there we go. I'm going to pull those up, and I'm going to talk about something else that is coming up that I'm super excited about because we planned it today. My mom is coming to visit. I am so excited about that. You have no idea. It will be the first time that she has it's not the first time she's ever been to Alabama, but it's the first time she'll have come to visit us. And I think it's the first time she'll ever have been to Birmingham. I think so. But the timing is because it will be during our spring break, and because my baby brother, who goes to the University of Maryland, is playing tennis against Georgia Tech, so we will make the approximately 2-hour drive out to Atlanta and be able to see him, and it will be awesome. I'm super excited for that, seriously. I will get more excited about it when she's actually purchased the plane tickets. But I'm excited about that because her boyfriend has agreed to it, and that's the biggest thing. Anyways, okay, here are pictures of the nursery. I know it's hard to see, but she has a very pretty cream color on the walls, and she made those curtains. It's the first time she's ever done curtains. She has not as much fear of a sewing machine as I do. But the nursery is mostly white with blue accents, and it's almost stable themed. She grew up on a farm, so whenever I talk about merino wool, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it's very cute. There's one baby has a sheepmobile, the other one has a cowmobile. There's like the barnyard animals on the pillow. I know you can't really see, but it's super cute. I love it. We are both super ready for those twins to be here. Super ready. So I think that's about it. And I managed to get up to almost an hour like I did last time, but this time I actually remembered to mention everything that I was planning on mentioning. So not as much rambling as last time. Okay. Again, I am Kate Notable Needle, N-O-T-E-A-B-L-E, on Ravelry, on Plurk, and on Twitter. Feel free to friend me, whatever is appropriate for the site, and join the Ravelry group and introduce yourself. Yeah, I hope it's warmer where you are than it is here, because it's like 25 right now. I'll see you later. Bye.